What's different this time, Daniel? Like, what is the change in terms of the first result to the next one? I imagine you're confident you're going to win this fight.
Yeah, I'm going to win.
What's going to be the difference?
I'm going to win, that's it.
By KO?
Whatever way it comes. Any means necessary, yeah.
Tony Bellew made a bold and definitive prediction about the upcoming rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois.
Daniel Dubois has got a lot of demons to revisit, and he's going to revisit them in this fight. I think he's in a different place mentally now than he was before the first fight. I don't want to say he's grown up and mature, because I think he's the same fighter as he was. It's just his mental approach is going to have to be different. So let's be honest, the question that was given to us, it's all about Daniel Dubois. This is it. Oleksandr Usyk cannot be questioned in any way, shape or form, whether it's going to your backyard, whether it's can he do this, he's ticked every box he's ever came across.
Do you believe he quit against Usyk in the first fight?
Absolutely. Well, do I believe Daniel Dubois quit?
Yeah. Okay, and have you
I think he had enough, yeah.
If that quit is there, it's in you.
The first time's the hardest, that's a fact. The first time you quit is the hardest. It's only gets easier going forward.
He can quit again?
Of course I do, because he's done it once.
He can't do it again. But I think mentally he's in a better place now than he was then, but not better than this man.
No, I agree.
And I have a theory as well. I think the shot was okay. I think that if the referee starts counting, Usyk gets back up and wins the fight anyway. But he just used his experience and took a rest.
Bellew, who knows firsthand the challenges of facing Usyk in the ring, believes that the younger and stronger Dubois will meet the same fate as last time, with the fight likely ending in a stoppage somewhere between rounds 8 and 12. While he acknowledged Dubois' improvements, Bellew remains steadfast in his belief that Usyk's sheer class and experience will prevail. In fact, he sees Usyk as the best heavyweight of their era, if not of all time, and feels that Dubois simply isn't quite ready to dethrone him.
We've seen him do the wrong things in the past. We've seen him take a knee, whatever have you. But the best way to explain Daniel Dubois is he's a 27-year-old veteran. He's experienced everything the boxing can throw at him. He's been dropped, he's been down, he's been stopped, and he's found a way back. And he's now on the back of his biggest ever victories. He's on his best ever run. You know, the victory over AJ was something else. For me, I think Daniel Dubois' big chance here is the first 6.
He carries his power late though.
No, he does, but
slows down a bit, doesn't he?
It's not that he slows down. It's up here with me.
Well, yeah, you're right.
It's all the problems are all up here, because I think as a fighting specimen, as an athletic specimen, the boy's a machine.
The first bout between these two heavyweights back in August 2023 was filled with drama, despite a promising start for Dubois, who managed to knock Usyk down with a body shot that many felt was a legitimate punch. It was ultimately Usyk who took control of the fight. After being given time to recover, Usyk regained his composure and stopped Dubois with a crisp jab in the 9th round. While some questioned the ruling of the low blow, Usyk's dominance in the latter rounds couldn't be denied.
I believe it's going to be totally different. If the people thinking that that's going to be the same thing, then they're in for a shock, a surprise, even their team. So, you know, I can't wait. I'm knowing myself better. I'm trusting myself better as a fighter. So, yeah, can't wait to get in there.
And the fact that it's at home, it's at Wembley. He's got 3 belts, you've got 1. But being here in London, where you're from, does that give you a chance as well?
Yeah, to have the home crowd. And just this is where I did it the last time, so I know I can do it again. So
since that first encounter, Usyk has firmly cemented his place as one of the best in boxing history. The Ukrainian southpaw followed up his win against Dubois with 2 victories over Tyson Fury, first in May 2024. To claim the undisputed heavyweight championship, he successfully defended his belts in a rematch with Fury later that year. These wins not only showcased his superior skills, but also solidified him as the pound-for-pound king. Usyk's career, once defined by his dominance in the cruiserweight division, now includes a heavyweight legacy that is unparalleled in the 4-belt era. It's a reputation that Dubois, despite his obvious strengths, has to overcome if he's to dethrone the champion.
I think we've all seen a change. There's been something happened, definitely. The Daniel Dubois right now is a much better fighter than the one 3-4 years ago. Would you agree with that yourself?
Yeah, definitely.
But what's been the change? What's happened?
Growing up, we all have to grow up eventually, don't we? So, yeah, it's just been a journey from a boy to a man you know, from the womb to the tomb, they say, and that's how it is.
And I want to talk to you about the coaches. Don Charge, I think, is a fantastic coach, especially for heavyweights. But someone who doesn't get the flowers he deserves, I think, is Kieran Farrell. And initially, when he came in to your team, I was surprised, kind of like, what's this about? But I think he's done. I think the combination of Don and Kieran worked really well together.
Yeah.
Whose decision was it to bring Kieran in?
My dad actually got in contact with Kieran. Yeah, he wanted a new guy that could bring the speed into it. And, you know, Kieran's hectic. He's ferocious all over the place. So I needed someone to just keep the work rate up and bring that young life, vibrant energy into the camp. And I think, and we're bringing more. We bring in who we have to.
Yeah.
However, Daniel Dubois has evolved since that first encounter, and many are starting to believe that he has a genuine chance at upsetting the odds. The 27-year-old British heavyweight who holds the IBF title Usyk vacated after his first fight with Fury has improved significantly since his loss. Confidence is a huge part of Dubois' mindset, and it's at an all-time high. A notable knockout victory over Anthony Joshua, another fighter Usyk defeated twice, was a clear demonstration of his growing power and skill. More recently, Dubois has racked up impressive wins against other top contenders such as Jarrell Miller and Filip Hrgovic, further establishing himself as a legitimate threat in the heavyweight division.
And I've been able to see the resurgence of Daniel Dubois. It's been beautiful. It's been amazing. He's been able to change the minds of those who doubted him. And the big win he just got over Joshua was remarkable.
Dubois himself believes that this is the perfect time to challenge Usyk, pointing to the champion's advancing age and the wear and tear accumulated over his intense battles with Fury. At 38, Usyk is approaching the twilight of his career, and Dubois feels that his physical prime, coupled with his raw strength and ambition, will be key in the rematch. He sees Usyk as a fighter who is gradually slowing down and aims to exploit that.
Talk to us about the shot that was and your initial thoughts when you landed the shot.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even like going back onto that, but you know, it was what it was at the time. I'm a new fighter, a man of the future now. That's in the past.
Talk to us about the rebuilding of Daniel Dubois. First off, the mindset that comes with that.
Yeah, facing the best guys out there. I think, you know, I'm a warrior at heart. I'm a warrior through and through. My dad raised me, trained me from the age of about 7. So, you know, it's in me. I've got the goods, and we've just been proving hungry to prove a point and, you know, make a statement with this one.
The idea of Dubois as a legitimate challenger has been supported by several prominent figures in the sport. Tyson Fury, a man who knows Usyk better than anyone after their 2 encounters, expressed mixed feelings about the upcoming rematch. Fury admitted that while he doesn't know who will win, he believes that Dubois' size, youth, and power give him a real shot. However, Fury also pointed out Usyk's immense experience and mental strength, especially after the grueling battles he endured with Fury. But his advice to Dubois was simple: knock him out. While Fury didn't explicitly state who he thinks will win, it was clear that he respects the challenge Dubois poses.
Final one, Usyk, Dubois, or Anthony Joshua, who would you rather fight? Just hypothetically.
Who would I rather fight right now? Usyk. Because I want me revenge in England. That's all I want. I want a fair shout. And I don't believe I've got a fair shout the last 2 times. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do, because I can't leave it go to the decision. I'm going to have to knock the cunt out. But yeah, that's the one I want. But if I don't get that, then it'd be Joshua, the biggest British fight that will ever happen. And it would break all records, and it would sell out 100,000 at Wembley in an hour. And it's a fight that I think can happen for sure if I decide to come back and the deal's right and all the other shit that goes with it.
What's the one bit of advice you'd give to Dubois against Usyk?
Knock him out, because I wouldn't say that, because it's in England and, you know, it's on his own show, so just do the best you can. That's it, best you can. It hurt before the body shot put him down heavily.
Even more emphatic was Spencer Oliver, the former European champion, who expressed complete confidence in Dubois' ability to pull off the upset. He believes that Dubois is now a more well-rounded fighter, and the improvements he's made since their first encounter are not to be underestimated. Oliver feels that the key to Dubois' success guess will be his technical growth and maturity as a boxer, which has made him a much tougher opponent for Usyk this time around.
Daniel Dubois beats Oleksandr Usyk.
How do you get to a point where you, besides the emotive connection with thinking that Daniel is in a better place than he was before, there's been no decline in Usyk, and we know we've got Krzyzak in the background leaving him as a promoter, but none of us think that's going to really affect Usyk. I've described Daniel Dubois as an irresistible force that might just be coming up against the immovable object. How do you reach the point where you are aligning upon Daniel Dubois beating Usyk? And we've been wrong every time we've put against Usyk, it's gone the other way.
I was going to say, firstly, do not agree with me because you do get them ones wrong.
I do agree with you, by the way.
Oh, you do?
I think that's because I want it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, look.
So you're both picking Dubois?
Absolutely. So I know Daniel Dubois. I see him work from day to day. I know what they're working on tactically. Go back to 2023 when Dubois lost to Oleksandr Usyk, and you say, all right, yeah, look, they seem quite far apart there. He had his moments, Daniel, but Usyk was sort of leagues above him then. Oleksandr Usyk has not got better since then. There's a lot of miles on the clock since then. There's no sign of deterioration. But what I'm saying is Daniel Dubois is a different character, a different animal from then.
You're saying that Usyk has not got better since fighting Daniel Dubois?
Yeah,
even though he's dealt with Fury.
Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't mean he's improved. I think the two
Don't
fights
got worse either, does it?
No. The two fights with Fury. I'm just doing this. It's a calculated gamble. I think the two fights with Fury would have put some miles on the clock with Usyk, and Daniel Dubois, since the Usyk loss, has improved dramatically. And I mean dramatically, not just physically, mentally as well.
David Haye, another former world champion, has a similar take. Haye sees the timing of the fight as a potentially decisive factor. With the rematch taking place in London, the energy of the home crowd will surely be behind Dubois, providing him with an extra boost of confidence and motivation. Haye also pointed out that Usyk may not be as sharp as he was in their first meeting. The toll of 2 epic battles with Fury, combined with the general wear on his body as he approaches 40, could create an opening for the younger, more energetic Dubois to capitalize on.
He's got a chart, he's got a massive shot, but how do you bet against someone who's never lost? He doesn't know what it's like to lose. But I think if there's ever a chance for Dubois to beat someone like Usyk, it's now with the momentum he's got. At home, he's got everything in his favour, and Usyk has got nothing. He's got nothing to gain really because he's already beat. But he done the same thing with Tyson Fury and AJ. Gave them both rematches and done it better the second time round. So
yet while Haye and Oliver are optimistic about Dubois' chances, they both acknowledge the immense skill of Usyk. In rematches, Usyk has consistently shown an ability to rise to the occasion and adjust his strategy to meet the challenge. Haye reflected on how Usyk had been able to improve his performances in subsequent fights with both Anthony Joshua and Fury. If Usyk's ability to adapt holds true, Dubois may find himself facing an even sharper, more focused opponent than the one he met 2 years ago.
I'm really intrigued in this fight, and everyone's going to be behind Daniel Dubois. He's a great guy. Straight down the line, but he's fighting a wizard. He's fighting someone who doesn't know what it's like to lose, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get another Usyk victory, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Usyk starts showing signs of age. Hard training camps, all those amateur fights, world championships, the WSBs. He's done so much, so many rounds on the clock, so many miles on the clock. He's pristine, but there's a lot of miles on the clock.
On the other hand, some more neutral figures like Dave Allen, who has sparred with Usyk, take a more balanced view. Allen recognizes Usyk's brilliance and technical prowess, which he believes will likely be the deciding factor in the rematch. However, he also sees significant improvements in Dubois, particularly in his technical boxing and ring strategy. Allen stresses that Dubois' power will be a danger, but he will need more than just raw strength. His mental clarity and ability to execute a solid game plan will be crucial if he is to have any hope of defeating the champion.
I think Dubois will beat him. That's my early prediction. I know a lot of people will obviously fancy Usyk, and rightfully so. And as much as I like Dubois and think he's getting better and all the rest of it, I'd like to see Usyk win. I think Usyk's a great fella and a great fighter, but I think Dubois will win.
Dubois' corner has also been vocal about the progress he's made. Adam Booth, his trainer, has emphasized that Dubois is no longer the one-dimensional fighter who relied solely on his brute force. The loss to Joe Joyce in 2023 was a turning point in Dubois' career. It taught him valuable lessons and helped shape him into a more disciplined and focused fighter. Booth believes that Dubois has adopted a more modern, tactical approach to boxing, which will make him a much more dangerous proposition for Usyk in this rematch.
How do you see this one, Adam, playing out?
Different to the first one. I can make much more of an argument for Dubois in this fight.
Me too.
Firstly, because he actually had success in the first fight.
He did. Do you think it was a low blow?
No.
No.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
You do think it was a low blow?
Absolutely was. If you look,
you do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, sorry. You caught me out then with the question. If you watch, it lands low, and while it's got contact with the shorts, it actually rides up at the point of impact.
So I've no use to my argument.
But it's irrelevant because they're going to fight again.
Yeah.
Usyk won the first time, and as he said, he won by stoppage. But Daniel Dubois is a different fighter now. Fighting is 90% mental, and he is a completely different fighter mentally. He lets his hands go with freedom. He now trusts his engine because he had those rounds with Jarrell Miller that tested his engine.
Yeah.
So he's kind of ticked the little boxes along the way, old school style.
Chris Algieri, another key figure in Dubois' camp, is equally bullish about the challenger's chances. Algieri pointed out that Dubois has now gained the experience and confidence needed to take on someone like Usyk. With wins over top contenders like Jarrell Miller and Anthony Joshua, Dubois has proven that he can compete at the highest level. His renewed confidence and strategic approach to the fight make him a formidable opponent, one who may be able to dethrone Usyk.
But the narrative is much better for the Dubois rematch. You've got the fact that they fought, and then since then Dubois has been on a tear, beating guys that he was the underdog against, Ergovich, and then Anthony Joshua, of course. You know, the guy has like really revamped his entire career, turned it around, gone from a guy that people saw as a quitter to being potentially the most dangerous man in the world. So you've got this narrative now that Dubois is a different guy. So this rematch will be different. Also, you have the fact that Usyk in the ring after his win over Tyson Fury, Dubois came into the ring, challenged him, and Usyk said, Your Excellency, Turkey, make the fight with Dubois. He's a man of his word. That guy says something, there's a good chance it's going to happen. So I believe the narrative is there, for this fight, obviously, and this is one of the reasons why it's being made.
Ricky Hatton, a longtime observer of the sport, has also spoken about the growth of Dubois. Hatton sees the loss to Joyce as an important lesson for Dubois, one that forced him to reassess his approach and become a more focused and determined fighter. Hatton views the upcoming rematch as a compelling clash of styles, with both fighters bringing new and improved versions of themselves to the ring. Dubois, according to Hatton, is a different fighter than the one Usyk stopped in their first fight.
I think it's the best fight. I think they're the best two heavyweights in the world, and there was a bit of controversy with the last time, which goes with the grain in boxing, doesn't it? A bit of controversy, but no, I think Daniel's got a better chance than he had the first time. Yeah, what with the win off Joshua, that his confidence is massively up. Well, when he fought Usyk last time, he come off the defeat from Joyce, and but now he's absolutely flying. He's got as good a chance. Better chance than he had the first time around, I think.
On the other hand, Fraser Clark, a heavyweight who has sparred with Usyk, has cautioned that power alone won't be enough to overcome the champion. While Clark respects Dubois' knockout ability, he believes that Usyk's superior technical skill, ring intelligence, and tactical sharpness will likely prove to be the deciding factors. Clark suggests that Dubois will need to show more than just brute force. He will need to be mentally sharp and execute a strong, strategic game plan if he is to have any hope of winning.
It gives a lot more. It's a different Dubois. It's a different fight. I think he gives a lot more problem. I think he's got a lot more confidence. I think he's starting to realise when he hits things, things fall over. If he hits them often enough and clean enough, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're Usyk or whoever else. I know he's a tough man, Usyk, but if Daniel hits you often enough and hard enough, you break. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. Saying that, I know he's in great form and that, but this Usyk, mate, he's the real deal, mate. So no one just get giddy and get too excited about Daniel, mate. We're talking about the real deal, and Oleksandr Usyk. When he needs to be tough and tough, and when he needs to be super smart, he's that as well. But I think Daniel with the wave of confidence he's got, would cause him more problems now than he did before, definitely.
Former world champion Prince Nassim Hamed has also weighed in on the rematch, offering a somewhat more optimistic outlook for Dubois. Hamed acknowledged that the first fight was a real test for Usyk, especially after the controversial low blow landed by Dubois, which rattled the champion. Hamed suggested that if Dubois can replicate the intensity and power that he showed in their first encounter without crossing the line with fouls, he could once again find a way to trouble Usyk. The unpredictability of Dubois' power and his willingness to take risks in the ring could make the fight much more dangerous for Usyk than it was the first time around.
Do you think both of them coming off losses, it's the fight we always wanted to see as domestic boxing fans?
Yeah, I suppose that fight is right there and everybody still wants to see it. But to be honest, we've still got Daniel Dubois, and I was sat next to Daniel Dubois.
Triple D, baby.
Triple D, baby, all day, every day. Let me just tell you this. In my eyes, for me, he's the only one. Triple D is the only one, Daniel Dubois is the only one that's ever hurt Usyk and put him down on the floor, made him think. And he was down there for like 3-4 minutes. So who's to say that once he fights Usyk again, to go out there and absolutely destroy him and bring our belts back to our country like it's supposed to be.
As the rematch approaches, the questions about Usyk's age and the toll of his two intense battles with Fury linger in the air. Dubois has youth and power on his side, while Usyk has experience, skill, and the edge of a champion who has already proven his greatness. The stakes are high, and the stage is set for an unforgettable night of boxing at Wembley Stadium. The outcome remains uncertain, but one thing is for sure, this rematch will be a defining moment in both fighters' careers. Will Usyk prove once again that age is just a number, or will Dubois rise to the occasion and shock the world? Only time will tell.